Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Reading through this comment here, it's a long one, and I'll read a little bit of it. It says, so I turned Nelson onto platinum. Now look at the fundamentals of palladium. It says that palladium's 20% more rare than platinum. It remains in a physical deficit. It's true. Uh, Palladium's physical need rises yearly as ice continues to require more. Hybrids need 30% more palladium than an internal combustion engine. Electric cars do not take over for 30 years, if ever. And I agree with that as well. Emission standards require more palladium in 2022 and more in 23. Emerging countries are in need of smaller ice from rising middle classes. Diesel is put on hold for now, hence the very slow climb for platinum. Now, I will say this, platinum is going to substitute palladium. The shortages for palladium is and are the shortages of platinum. Platinum, in my opinion, is the superior value and metal at this time because they're going to do substitutions. They're already doing it in China. That's why the imports of platinum have been very dramatic. And I don't know if those numbers are accounted for in the system. It says, hence the very slow climb for platinum, which now requires more investment demand to keep in the 1,000-1,250 range. While diesel's now phased out, larger heavy equipment and machinery are going hybrid, requiring palladium. It's also platinum because they're going to substitute palladium like mad with platinum. I guarantee it. There's a reason that those ratios hit certain levels that we look at. Historically, when you hit a certain ratio, they're going to do substitution, and they're going to design in more platinum than palladium. So I think that both of these metals are going to do incredible things. Peak ice and hybrids is in 2027. Look at hydrogen, true clean energy with zero emissions from water. He says that palladium can absorb 90% its weight in hydrogen. That may be true, but platinum is what they used in those proton diffused membranes. It's platinum. That means palladium is a long game, and I agree. Palladium is a long game, and palladium has been one of the best investments since 2009, 2007, and 2005 when it bottomed. I think in my opinion, platinum's the game changer right now because of the ratios and its ability to substitute palladium in those catalytic converters that you're talking about in ICE vehicles and hybrid vehicles. They're going to put a bunch more palladium or platinum loadings, given that palladium is over 2 times the cost of platinum, roughly speaking. It says, keep in mind, during the gulags, Stalin had free labor and free mining from the enslaved. For years, they stacked physical palladium until there arose a need for it in the 70s for catalytic converters. They had plenty then, but have since been eating into it, the inventory. So much that in recent years, the Palladium ETF has had to lessen their physical reserves to flood the market, and it's only barely proven enough. 100% of palladium is necessary and used yearly in industry, of which 85% in vehicles. That only leaves a few hundred thousand ounces for investments through ETF and physical. Remember, it only took about 400,000 physical ounces missing from Russia last year to move it to $2,900 an ounce. It later only took 280,000 ounces from South Africa, reserves from COVID lockdowns, and minus 100,000 less needed vehicle ounces, chip shortage. Remove the market to a lower to $1,600 an ounce, where it remained for only a blip. New car sales haven't fully recovered from COVID nor chip shortages, and yet palladium remains at a new bottom base of 2,350. Now, pepper inflation and the 2 new Ukraine nations with Russia, the new Cold War, and you've got a commodity with no ceiling. Everyone is about to learn about palladium as it becomes the most securest hedge against inflation. Palladium will crack $10,000 an ounce, then $12,000 an ounce, but it is a long game, as is the new China-Russia versus US dollar condition. While Putin departs completely from SWIFT and the dollar and forms new world partnerships, he's playing high IQ chess with the Biden admin, who parallels soiled toddlers in a sandbox. US sanctions are a joke. Russia needs neither SWIFT nor the dollar. Oil, yep. Palladium, absolutely. Anticipate volatility, but always to the upside. I see 12 years of rise in palladium. It'll certainly bring its cousin platinum, but watch rhodium. This will be the first PGM to crack $100,000 an ounce. Again, thanks for your research. So my opinion is I'm playing it with platinum. And platinum is a substitute for palladium. So when palladium has a deficit, it is a deficit of platinum as well. Platinum is also going to have deficits. If we ramp a hydrogen economy, we will have deficits of platinum massively, massive deficits. We don't have enough platinum group metals on this earth. That's what we're going to find out. And the way that I'm playing it is through the physical metals. I buy a lot of physical metal. Why the physical metals? Because if we're going to go into this large shortage of these metals, the mining companies are going to be impacted by those shortages. They're literally, their inputs or their output of these metals will decline rapidly. South Africa is already declining. They hit their peak production in 2006 for platinum and platinum. 80% of the world's platinum comes from South Africa. Something on the lines of 15% probably comes from Russia, roughly speaking. And then the other 5% is all scattered throughout. The majority of palladium comes from Russia. It's like 56% or 60%, somewhere in that range. 50 to 60% comes from Russia. So that's the majority. And if something happens with that, then that's going to go through the roof. Norilsk Nickel is a large palladium extractor. That is the company that I own. If it gets hit, guys, I'm playing the long game. I don't play the short-term movements. What I am doing with my portfolio, if you look at everything, I'm just trying to figure out where the shortages are going to happen first in this world. And I don't think they're going to easily be able to exchange or do material substitutions for them. The platinum group metals have a bunch of characteristics that are unique to platinum, like their high melting points, their scratch resistance, their very strong, durable materials. They're used in brazes and alloys and all. You can use them in alloys. There's a whole bunch of things that they're used for that I don't think you can replace very easily because of their material properties. I also think that they probably, more than likely, they came from asteroids that came and impacted the Earth. So we're just mining those asteroids because they're very densely consolidated to very small areas within the within Earth. So it's only a couple spots that we have these. So I think it's just asteroids that hit the Earth that we're mining. So I agree with everything that you say. I don't have price projections on it, even though I think your price projections are probably quite accurate. They will substitute palladium with platinum. And if there's at all one of the most platinum in South Africa, since 80% is produced in South Africa, if South Africa has a problem, that means 80% of that metal could potentially have a problem. That is probably the most concentrated mining production of any element that I know is in platinum and palladium as well. Palladium is another one. So yeah, I think both of those are incredible investment opportunities. I play the physical game with them. I used to own palladium, but I swapped it for platinum back in April of 2020. The ratio got really low. It was 0.3 something. And I swapped my palladium for platinum because I figured that was the capitulation bottom and that palladium will be, or platinum will substitute palladium in those catalytic converters eventually. So I took the risk and said, you know what, I'm gonna get some more platinum. So I'm a big physical platinum holder. The physical metals are the spot that I think is by far the least risk with a bunch of upside potential. And I bought a whole bunch of platinum at the bottom of 2020. So I got really, really lucky. And I was 100% looking at the ratios and ratios only. I was looking at the cost curves too. The cost curves of platinum. And when we got below $700 an ounce, it was like, if you could find platinum, because that's when they jacked the premiums up a little bit. But I still got a whole bunch at a very good deal. And I bought as much as I possibly could in that little period. But yeah, I agree, Nelson. I think you're right. And for me, I would buy platinum. It's the cheapest on a ratio basis against gold, palladium, rhodium, and silver. And it looks like we're breaking out, putting in a nice pattern to go much, much higher. I'll end it there, guys. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.